Hey, it's me, B here from Drive and Drive, where we're hauling freight across 48. Now, this video is more for our, everyday people, those that are not truckers, because I kind of want y'all to be aware about the situation, especially like an article about what's called no idling laws that are in New York. So those of you who don't really know what that is or what idling is, it's just basically when you start your car or you start your truck and you don't turn the engine off. And so in New York, they've been having these laws where anti-idling or no idling laws where that you can't run your car, if it's not, in motion or anything like that. Like if it's stopped, then you can't run it for more than, I think it's 3 minutes normally. But if you're in front of a school, it can't be more than 1 minute. So of course, if you break those no idling laws, you will be subject to fines. These fines can range from $100 to $2,000. Now there was an article and a video, I think it was like CNBC, I think the New York Times kind of wrote on it, calling these no idle vigilantes or people who go around and make money off of reporting people who run their trucks, especially truckers, because in the article that CNBC kind of wrote, it kind of pointed out that they kind of target truckers for this, and they receive like, I think it's like, what is it, like $87 and like $87.50, if they're able to record truckers basically idling for more than 3 minutes. So they actually have to sit there and wait to see if the truck has been idling for more than 3 minutes, and then they can report the trucker and receive $87.50 for their trouble. Now, I'm just kind of here to give more of an understanding or empathetic look at why, doing things like this can actually do more harm than good, as far as we understand, it's good to protect the environment and things like that. And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the newer trucks, especially trucks built like after, I think it's 2014 or 15, actually do a lot of like the clean air type of stuff. That's why you're not going to see like dark smoke coming out of a lot of those vehicles, because they're actually made to be more eco-friendly. There's like, especially our truck is like that. And so it's just the fact that it's just people out here kind of like trying to report a certain demographic or a certain group of people, because I don't really see an article where like they're going out and trying to go after regular cars, but just trucks in particular. And the thing is that we're already kind of struggling with the fuel, diesel fuel going up, the inflation, and then like the rates are not as good as they usually were and things like that. And so a lot of truckers are out here struggling. And so it's just the fact that there's people out here that are not really thinking about kind of like the domino effect of these things. And so I just wanted to get my husband's opinion about this as well.
Now with this, I guess you could say with this New York law, my opinion about it, of course, is, can I say bullshit?
I mean, I say bullshit.
It's bullshit, only because, okay, you're allowed 3 minutes in order to idle. In this very situation that's going to impact us is that we're actually headed to Albany, New York, where the temperatures, I think it's supposed to be the lowest is 35. 41 throughout the night, but 35 coming like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, you're telling me that even though I might not have a bunk heater, I
What's
can't.
a bunk heater though?
Well, bunk heater is usually usually in your sleeper. You can use it to turn on, keep yourself warm throughout the night, even with your truck being off. They come in handy. I had a truck that had one when I worked with Prom, and so basically, if you don't have one of those, your only option is to idle your truck. I know you don't want to idle a truck for 3 minutes and then all of a sudden you turn it off just because you don't want to go past that 3 minute threshold and to the point where you might get fined. Another thing is a lot of truckers, they cook in their truck. And if they don't have APUs,
What's the APU?
APU is, what's the...
This is for the non-truckers.
Definitely auxiliary power unit. Pretty much, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. But pretty much an APU. It when you turn on the APU, it runs the battery to the truck. While also you can use it for, let's say, if you wanted to cook, watch TV, just do certain things like that to where you don't have to turn on the truck. So if you don't have an APU or a if you don't have an APU or a bunk heater, all you can do to warm up your truck is to idle. And I don't know, they make such a big deal about trucks idling, but you also have plants and manufacturing companies that put all this mud and all this smoke in the air. But of course you blame the truckers who are, you know, delivering your goods. Like right now, I think I have, is it baking soda? So I don't know, it's very odd to me that these places are like that. I know in California they don't really like you to idle either, but they have in some certain areas to where they allow you to idle if you have the California Clean Idle sticker up on your truck. So
it's like a certified.
Yeah, it's like pretty much your truck is certified in order to, as long as there's no restrictions, you can idle your truck in more than 5 minutes and you wouldn't have a problem. So that's pretty much my little take. So, talk about me.
I know that this, like, reading this article was like a huge concern to me because the first thing that I thought about was just the fact that, like, dude, there's like, you know, luckily we have a newer truck. So we have like certain, like you said, we have like a bunk heater and things like that. Whereas like older trucks or older vehicles, like, doesn't have stuff like that. And so you know, you can literally go out on truckers forums and they'll talk about the fact that they've been sitting in freezing temperatures. I'm not talking about, like, I'm cool with turning off the engine when like everything is good, like the weather is nice, you know, there's a nice breeze, I can roll the window down and all that. But when we're talking about the cases of like the temperatures are like very uncomfortable, if it's too cold and even when it's too hot, so outside. So it's the fact that like it's already hard enough to be a driver, you know, you're not able to use the bathroom you need to, you have to eat crappy food, or, you know, unless you're going to cook for your own self, and, you know, waiting for long periods of time at the shipper for like hours and hours upon end, and some of those shippers may not even let you go to the bathroom and all this other stuff. It, you know, it's all these things, and then on top of the fact is, you know, now we're getting into these temperatures where it's like really, really cold. We're from the South. We don't like, you know, 20, 30 degree weather. We are not used to that. So we're, you know, people are sitting in their trucks freezing their butts off, you know, trying to adhere to this law, or they, you know, they can be reported by, you know, some person who, you know, thinks that they're being, you know, some type of warrior out here trying to make sure, oh, you're not polluting our streets and stuff like that. And the thing is, it's like, you really don't realize that this is a person's home. Basically, this is either their home or their second home. Because there are, like, a lot of people don't realize there are probably homeless people who drive trucks. You know, because this was their only way to be able to get some type of shelter and things like that. And so for them to go all the way up to New York just to find out that they can't even run the truck so that they can run heat during times of extreme cold, that's very cruel to do. But at the end of it, and the thing is, it's like, oh, but you know, your city needs like all these different supplies and all these different materials and food and all this other stuff. The least you can do is just kind of let them heat their area up, or like their own homes up, or like run air when it's really hot. So the thing is that, you know, people don't think about things like that. And then, like, you know, because I have an article pulled up right now, talking about this guy, Ernest Wells, says he's been chased, swung at, and even pushed by truck drivers who disapprove of his sidekick. From his phone, Will records trucks that are parked for longer than 3 minutes with their engines still running, an offense in New York City. So he says, every time I go out of my house, I'm prepared for an assault. Will, an environmental attorney by day, told CNBC. You have to go out expecting there's going to be a confrontation. So he goes out here knowing that he's going to be pissing a lot of drivers or truckers off. And the thing is, it's like the article doesn't really per se, like it doesn't really say if he also goes out and try to report regular drivers. And so, because it almost seems like they go out and specifically go and try to get truck drivers with this. And so, it also talks about, according to the DEP, the fine for a first-time offender is $350, and more for repeat offenders. A 25% cut, or $87.50, is paid to the person who shot the video and filed the complaint. So the thing is that it's not a flat rate of $87.50. They could actually get more than that because they get a 25% cut. So this was just only in the case of $350. And like I said, like they can run, the fines can run from $100 to $2,000. So they can actually get more money than that, depending upon, you know, the offense, or like how many times the truck driver offended. So it says that, you know, he had submitted over 2,000 complaints, and that they're being processed. And so said that there are other people doing this for a side hustle, and they include a pediatrician, a former Wall Street banker, and an actress. Saying like, just walking from work, I can get 5 or 6 within a few minutes. And I pretend I'm on my phone, and I kind of look around, look like I'm looking for someone. So of course they're not even, you know, they're being sneaky with it. So was it Patrick Schnell, a pediatrician, estimates he's made $36,000 to date. $36,000. So, and it says his technique is to hold his phone in his hand and try to be inconspicuous. He said, kind of works, but not always. Yeah, okay. So after a while, yeah, people probably start to notice. And it says an 81-year-old New Yorker named Paul Slapkiss, I'm not really sure how to say that, said he's collected $64,000 so far without even trying. This is what there are people making money off of people who are already being like basically drained out financially at this time, especially with the fuel going up, like the cost of fuel going up, for us to even move or haul the freight. A lot of us out here are like really struggling, and you out here gloating about the fact that you're making money off the fact that you're idling trucks. I've literally seen trucking companies advertise the fact that they don't want, like, they're like, we don't run loads in New York. I wonder why. Now this could be because of that, or other reasons, like because sometimes it's difficult to run loads in, you know, New York City especially. But I would say that be a pretty good reason. And it also says that there are idling trucks everywhere. Currently, I'm waiting for 42 bounty requests, accounting to $7,300 to be paid. It also says that, here it says, knives pulled on me. According to the Department of Environmental Protection, the city has collected $2.4 million since the online program started. Collectively, citizen reporters have earned more than $724 1,000 and counting. The DEP says the number of complaints surged 35% from 9,070 from 2019 to 12,267 in 2021. And so they even admit that the program is a revenue generator for them, but it's not always the safest way to earn a quick buck. Yes, it's not safe because you're basically getting in the personal space and the boundaries of people who have to drive like on, endless miles on end. They're tired, they have, a lot of us got to go to the bathroom. We ain't had, a shower in a couple of days, all this other stuff. We go through a lot of different things that a lot of people don't really understand. And just for somebody to come up to me and to try to record me and basically in my home, in my area, in my space is very, is very concerning. So it even says in the article, I've had knives pulled on me 3 times, slapped because said, and never spilled even a drop of blood. A spokesperson for the DEP says the city is not responsible. I want y'all to hear this. The city is not responsible should a citizen be attacked in a voluntary act to report an idling vehicle. So like, if you get hurt or attacked, it's not going to be on the city, or they could care less. They're just like, well, y'all could make some money if y'all go out and report these people, but if y'all get hurt or anything like that, y'all shit out of luck, because they claim the act is voluntary. So I don't see how it's really worth the headache to do. And it says the former Wall Street banker George Peckham estimates he's made about $40,000 since the program started, but he said he's not in it for the cash. Okay, please, you're not in it for the cash. So all of a sudden you just here to save the whole world one freaking 18-wheeler at a time. And then it goes back to it's a public health issue. But like I said, a lot of these newer vehicles, a lot of these newer trucks do clean idling. So the thing is that our industry is doing what it can do to try to keep toxic or like these emissions from spreading out into the air by changing the way how the truck even processes a lot of the different things, or the mechanisms, whatever, so instead of doing a dirty idle, it does clean idle. And so it says any commercial vehicle that is not engaged in a process and is parked must turn the engine off. Said I won't stop reporting trucks until there is no more idling in New York City. So obviously this is going to be a thing, and it's going to continue to be a thing. And I have seen comments under articles pertaining to this where there are drivers that are trying to explain to people like, hey, a lot of the trucks that were made after a certain point don't even do dirty idling. And then there's people who's like, we cook, we get get warm, we get cool in our trucks and things like that. We live in these vehicles. So for y'all to say that we can't sit and idle, we're stuck in these vehicles for long periods of time. So why do I have to sit here and be uncomfortable just to make sure that you get your butter or your bell peppers or or like furniture, concrete slabs, whatever, what I'm saying? And it's not fair. It's not really fair at the end of the day. I'm not saying we shouldn't care about the environment, but at the same time, it's like at what cost? Because there are people. It was a trucker who delivered fresh produce into New York City, and after all of this, he's basically saying, I don't think it's worth it. I think we just need to deliver to other places. And so people were commenting saying, well, we got plenty of fresh fruit in New York City. And the thing is that I didn't know that New York City grew or had farms. I don't know if y'all like that, in that, I don't know. I don't think y'all have farms in that sense. And so I don't know if it's considered one of those, because there's probably areas that could be considered food deserts or have issues with getting certain types of fresh produce. But like, if you piss them off that much, then you might not have the vehicles or the trucks that you need in order to transport certain needed materials in there, because people just don't want to deal with the hassle of those people reporting them for running their truck for like 3 minutes, like more than 3 minutes. So that's all we got to really talk about that. But we really just wanted to share our give our 2 cents and share our opinion about that, because that's very concerning. Because we understand how it is to be over the road trucking and just wanting to be keep comfortable, because we're all we're uncomfortable a lot of times during our journey, or there are times where we're not in the best situations, but we try to pull through. But like, just give a damn about the truckers. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, bye.